Welcome back to the Blizzard Cup Grand Finals. I am Wolf, with me is Caldor, and Life just put a point on the scoreboard.
Yes, he did. In a quite convincing fashion, he was able to take out his opponent on Cloud Kingdom. Really well done. And I'm amazed by those interviews. I didn't actually know that they had the interviews live in between the games. I feel this is kind of pretty impressive in live. Look at him, down one game, but really, really confident that he will be able to take this series.
Yeah. He's actually been the first person in what seems like forever to actually hold PartinG's Immortal push. He went investors. He did it, man.
Yeah.
He was not afraid.
He just bought so much time. He was completely willing to sacrifice his third base to do it. And I don't know, it was just really well done. He bought time with the Zerglings in the beginning, and every second counts here. His timings were perfect. Pathogen Glance and the Infestors themselves lined up so well. He had the Spine Crawlers ready, and everything just worked out for him. PartinG had really great micro in these fights. The first fields were good, but it was just not enough.
Yeah, not enough, man. And I'm wondering now, what's PartinG's plan? Are we going to see for the first time late game PartinG in this series?
To be honest with you, I think that PartinG will change things up now. I really feel that at this point he's like, okay, you beat my Immortal push, I might use it later on, but I don't see him use it now. I feel like that's something that he will just wait for, maybe for Abyssal City, you know, for a map that we have later on, if he comes to that, that he will use the strategy again. But I feel like this time PartinG will use one of the strategies that he's shown against Violet, just something a little bit different.
Yeah, I think something more like one of our quick Mothership plays, or maybe even just an Immortal into the third base. Not a push, just a defensive measure.
Maybe a timing before the Broodlords hit, just on 3 bases. Earlier third base, going for a timing and try to take his opponent down before the Broodlords are in play. Something different. Just the Immortal push seems a little bit too risky right now, and will also just help Life to perfect his timings.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, and I think that we're just going to see some sort of transition into a longer game, whether it's that 3-base push, whether it's the late game with the Mothership. No Immortal push, I don't see any Void Ray pushing, not even a 4 gateway with +1. I think we're just going to see straight up expansion to the third base on our next map.
And you could really see that Live put a lot of effort into it and also thought in how to beat this. We saw him with a bit of more of a standard style, I would say, on Antigua Shipyard, but then on Cloud Kingdom he went into the double upgrades, which helped him, of course, because the Zealots couldn't 2-hit the Zerglings anymore with the +1 attack upgrade. At the beginning, you mentioned it, when he tried to go in, he couldn't really trade cost efficiently because his upgrades weren't through. But then when the third died, suddenly +1/+1 kicked in. He was much better set up against the Zealots. And then PartinG realized it, warped in only a few of them, and even the transition into the Roaches, you know, it wasn't only that he won for Ling Infestor, it was the Roach transition later on in the game when you usually wouldn't expect it, and that helped him so much against the Zealot heavy army. Was really well executed.
Well executed, very useful. I really appreciated how he decided to handle that.
I actually thought that he would try to go into the double expansion and not attack PartinG over and over again. I really felt that he would just try to cancel the third one, but then not commit this much. But he really, really went for it. He hit his timing as well. He had the tech behind it, and PartinG just did not have the units. The Colossus caught up at the front. It was actually so funny on timing when he said, like, he needs to move it back, and then boom, fungal, and like, no way, sorry, my friend. But this Colossus stays where it is.
You get
right
caught,
in range.
there's nothing you can do, you get stuck, you get trapped, man.
Yeah, he got trapped and he was never able to really get out of this. So suddenly the Colossus is gone. He needs to wait for the second one. Doesn't have an answer to the Zerglings and the Roaches. Well, then here we have the two of them. The Zerg that defeated the Immortal push, but well, he needs to win a few more games if he wants to take this.
Yeah, a few more indeed. He's not gonna get an easy way out here, but now he's gonna have some peace of mind knowing, hey, I did it. You guys couldn't do it. Sniper couldn't do it.
This helps him. If in a series like this your opponent gets too much momentum, especially if you lost to him in the past without even winning a map, then you just go into a game with a mindset that is always set to how do I cope with a loss. And now he suddenly is like, hey, well, I just defeated his Immortal push. That is the strongest build that he has. If I play this right, if I'm cautious right now and I'm really careful, if I scout well and see what's coming, I can do this.
Yeah, it certainly can be done. So now he knows as long as he scouts well what his opponent's doing, it's not going to be about 2-base timings anymore. He can even rest easily thinking, all right, I've beaten his strategy now. Probably not going to use it again until one of those maps, like Abyssal City or Belshire Vestige later on that we're going to see. So he's going to have that ability to just sit back and relax and say, okay, what sort of build are you going to do? Are you going to go Phoenixes now? I got to scout that. Are you going to go for just an Immortal into the third base? I got to scout that.
I could even see PartinG at some point going for a gateway first build on one of the maps, just trying something that is completely out of his normal style.
Or a 6 gateway attack off 2 bases without Robo, without Twilight Council, just a very fast 6 gateway attack.
Mind games are so important. They are teammates. We point that out over and over again. We sound a little bit like a broken record, but this is really one of the major factors here, that they know each other so well that they have to adapt a little bit. The small thing that we saw on Daybreak, PartinG suddenly scouting on Daybreak. What's up with that? Usually he doesn't do it. He doesn't send out this probe. He tries to just stay close to his own natural, and then he sends one probe to the Zalnaga Watchtower. But going into your opponent's base, he usually tries to skip that. And against Life, he knows, I might not be able to get away with this. Goes in and sees like, oh, wow, you actually go for a level pool, so I have to change my build here.
Yeah, so he just having some ability to change up his style, play a little bit different than you would expect, react to what PartinG has shown him.
And well, we're just waiting for the game to be awesome.
I think we're going to get in a game pretty soon.
I want to see the next game now. I'm pumped. I want to see this.
Wow, man, it worked. You got really excited and suddenly we just...
Let's go. I hope you guys are ready, because we certainly are. Life versus PartinG. This is going to be game 4, and it is going to be on Whirlwind.
Whirlwind, man. Big map. This is the first tough map that PartinG is going to face, matchup-wise.
Blizzard Cup 2012, Protoss versus Zerg, Life versus PartinG. Game 4, get ready, because here we go. This is going to be awesome. Starting to the top left is our Zerg player in red, starting of course for Team Startail. The hope for all the Zerg players out there, he is.
Starting live.
Showed a 6 pull on this map. Not going to be doing it today though.
He was up against the Immortal push. Zerg players were looking how to beat it, and Life, as they say, Life always finds an answer.
Certainly does. He's got to find more answers though against his teammate. Frost player to the bottom right, is he unstoppable? Let's find out. He is.
PartinG.
Not invincible as shown in last game.
Not invincible, but still in the lead. Still in a position where he is ahead, 2-1. This 4th game might change things though. It's a big map, and it's cross position. This is like, okay, well, if anyone in the entire world can pull off an Immortal push against Zerg on cross position on Whirlwind, it's PartinG.
Yeah.
But I think not even he is going to try it.
I don't think so, man. That would be crazy.
That's like the worst map and the worst positions ever to go for an Immortal push.
He goes even Forge first here. You know, if he goes Forge first on this map, it's a little bit scary if you don't scout your opponent right away. It's hard to see what spawning location your opponent's at, and also if he scouts a hatch first, which is a little bit more common on this map, he might be able to punish it.
And while we have those build orders just evolve in front of us, unfold, let's once again give a big of a shout out here to the players. And I want all of you guys, all the Zerg fans out there, all the Protoss fans out there, to add them on Twitter or at least send them a tweet. Their accounts are for PartinG, ST_PartinG, and for his opponent for Life, it's actually Startail_Life. So add the 2 of them. They definitely deserve your support, and send them a tweet. Tell them that you cheer for them. Also make sure that you add the 2 of us at ProxyWolf and at Calder, and tweet at Starcraft, the Blizzard account, that you really appreciate this tournament.
Yeah, and also, of course, hashtag the GSL. It's the easiest hashtag to make. It's the shortest one. It's one we always use for these finals. Hashtag it, talk about it, get it trending, and make sure that all your friends who follow you on Twitter who are non-StarCraft people know this is going on. You can even post on Facebook about it.
It's the finals, guys.
It is indeed, that much is for certain. Now, you can see the win rates here for PartinG at certain intervals in the game. The late game is one of his strongest, as is the early game. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's why he kind of has that middle ground where he wins most of his games.
3rd base now coming up for Life. And PartinG, well, he has to change his build a little bit. On this map, we've even seen a Stargate on this map, which is usually something that a lot of players try to avoid and rather go into the third base right away. Reason being that the map is just so big that it takes an eternity for you to arrive at your opponent's base, at least if it's cross position.
Yeah, very true. Probe scouting away. And, you know, at this moment in time, we have to wait, of course, for that quarter finish. It's just started.
We don't have any gas for life yet, so right now he's playing a bit more this really heavy economy style where you want to get into the macro game and then overwhelm your opponent later on. And this is exactly what we could see here. If PartinG isn't careful, he's going to be up against a Zerg player who's not only on 3 but soon on 4 bases, will have a massive economy, getting his tech up, getting a huge amount of units. And the problem that you have is if you really walk out on the map with the timing attack as a Protoss player, there are so many ways where, in so many positions where a Zerg player can surround you. So it's very difficult to pull that off. I feel this is one of the toughest maps for Protoss now.
Yeah, this is a map where we're probably going to see a 3-base timing attack. I feel like this map is the one where most often Protoss players take a third early but don't use it to attack. I think this robotics is going to be for an expand, but it is the tech of choice. If he decides to go for an immortal push with this, it would be crazy. With the way he's rallied it, it looks like it's going to be for an observer.
A lot of Zerg players actually argue that on a map like Whirlwind, especially with the cross position, it's already a little bit too big, especially when you try to go into, for example, Broodlords. It's really difficult because your Broodlords are so slow, and if your opponent plays it well, then suddenly he can harass you with a Warp Prism with speed. He can try to just run around your army and hit your base, and you have to kind of find out if you want to defend or attack. So one of the plays that we could also see are, for example, Mutalisks. Not that common, but still an option.
Yeah, it's more common on maps like this, like Tal'Darim Altar, like Whirlwind. They're big and open. We have Observer first. So don't be alarmed, Zerg fans. This is not going to end early. This is actually going to be a third base for PartinG.
We don't see him here with any kind of immortal shenanigans. That's something that he just can't pull off here. We have him straight ahead. His opponent, by the way, that's the immortal after all, but this is going to be a third base. He's going to add the Twilight Council, and we will see a third base. I cannot see him push out with an immortal push.
No,
that would be suicidal.
It's not going to happen, especially not with the Observer.
The timings are also not really working for him, and as you can already see, life is there with the Scouts, does have the Overlords, he's going into the tech, and there's the Twilight Council for PartinG. So right now he's going immediately for the blink. He's gonna try to get himself the third base up.
Yep, he's gonna go for it. He's gonna be able to get so many different tech paths going for him once he gets that third base up and gets those 6 gases going for him. But for now, it's really important for Life to not overreact. He's going for the double evolution chambers again, but this time, of course, with Roach support.
Exactly, he has the Roaches right now. He skipped them on Cloud Kingdom because it was a very different strategy that he was trying to hit there. But now we have the Roaches for him. He has speed as well, and there's the third base. Third base for PartinG. To the left, something that he scouted, of course, he saw with the Zergling, not the structure itself, but he saw the move out, and he will confirm with the rest of his units.
Yep, and here they come walking across the map. 5 Roaches. He wants to put a little bit of pressure on while he gets that infestation pit, so it keeps PartinG's attention off of him. But he's not going to really commit to this attack because he knows it's a little bit of a risk, especially with this many sentries. He actually runs all the way in here. He's going to get out, though, as soon as he sees those sentries.
He runs in, and here come the cannons now, trying to secure it as fast as possible. 61 harvesters already against 55, and the infestation pit nearly done, but ooh, Life still applying pressure here.
Yeah, he snipes a cannon without a cancel there. And the Roaches are actually coming in from another angle, so he's trying to hit this attack where he really throws PartinG off, but with an Immortal here, it's not going to be able to work.
Yeah.
He tries.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he goes for it. You know, he just is like, okay, well, maybe you leave your main open. And if you do, if I can get into your natural or into your main base, then I have such a nice momentum going for myself. I can just macro it up behind this, and you suddenly have to deal with this aggression.
However, we're seeing a third evolution chamber, and this is not for Vipers and Heart of the Swarm. No. This is so we can get 3 upgrades at once. That's a lot of gas, but it's going to pay off in the long run, especially because the Broodlings, he's got the ability to use the Broodlings. Yep. He's got the Zerglings, and then later on, of course, the Infestor can drop the Infested Terrans. They'll get the missile upgrades with the Roaches.
We just have him this time going into the 4th base. He has the economy. And he really tries to play this very, very upgrade heavy, as you already pointed out. And on the production tab, we now have all these upgrades that we just talked about. Armor +1 attack for the roaches, the +1 attack upgrade for the zerglings, speed, pathogen glands, infestors. He is really in a position where he knows, PartinG, you can't move out. You're taking your third base right now. There is no option for you to be aggressive. So I get all my upgrades. I skip a little bit on the units. I only get the energy units out. And as soon as I see that you really attack, then I can build the units that I need to defend.
Yeah. We have 4 gates at the 4th base here. You know, is he really going to try to make this one work?
I don't think that he's trying to attack right now. He will wait for his Colossi.
Yeah, well, he's adding 2 gates. I think he is going to attack off the 3 base, though, for sure. It's just, you know, he has shown crazy late game on open maps in the past, but on this map, he's just asking for trouble if he really wants to take that 4th base. I respect his decision to go for the timing attack here.
I would go for a timing attack if I was him. I would be very uncomfortable playing against Life in the late game when he has all the options and all the tech up. So hitting before there's an option for the Zerg player to get his Hive and everything up, I think that's the right choice. But Life is now pushing out. He has a lot of units and he wants to claim the middle of the map. He has already the Lynx and the Roaches on their way. PartinG with a lot to defend here, though.
Yeah, and I feel like with that fleet beacon, well, he starts Stargate first, of course. With the Stargate coming out, it indicates he is very willing to go into a 4th base on this map, which is pretty crazy to me. That's very brave. +3 coming out here. He's got that Colossus. Try to help zone out here. A good funnel, though, on those sentries. He needs a few more.
Nice trapping one of the infestors. And you can just see how PartinG prepares for everything. The Spire is up, but as already mentioned, the Stargate is not only on production tab, it's nearly done. And the Fleet Beacon will follow soon. So PartinG on those 3 bases, already going into the Mothership again. This will help him later on. He can get the energy out earlier, but he has to defend here first.
Yeah, and the force fields are pretty good here. The Roaches can't quite get through, although defensive Terran energy is just going to be dropped, pretty useless.
Really good force fields here, and he forces Life back. Life is now on the retreat, and PartinG, so far, has done a really good job with his defense. He has the 3 bases, he did not lose too much here, and now we have suddenly the Fleet Beacon. The Fleet Beacon up, exactly. With the Fleet Beacon now, he can get everything that he needs. He can get the Mothership out, and this is just so cool for him. Both of them playing really, really well in this game.
And Overlord finally taken out. Is actually going to supply block Life just a little bit here. Another pylon going down here as well. Now, PartinG just needs to keep his cool until that Mothership is out. If he really wants to take a 4th base, he is really going to have to make sure he has observers like he does right now.
And there it is.
Scatter across the map, and he's just going to do it.
Yeah.
On this map, he is going to take a 4th base on Whirlwind.
He takes the 4th, he is happy with the defense at his 3rd base, takes the 4th now. We have him with double Colossus, a lot of Stalkers. He already has the Colossi as well. And now we have him with a Mothership on the production tab. Where Life just now starts his own Hive tech.
Yeah. Trying to snake around here with his Roaches. A few Roaches get trapped on the left side. Roaches are not the concern. They're just a temporary annoyance for him right now while he tries to get this 4th up. He loses 3 structures without a cancel, but it's worth it to keep his Nexus alive.
Good force fields, trapping a lot of Roaches. Again, this is kind of what we see from PartinG the entire time. A blink forward, he's trying to chase them down. He's trying to get them right now, blinks after them, but then does not want to overcommit here. There's always the risk of running into infestors and being fungal.
Exactly. Now that Mothership is halfway done, there's a big Link force. He continues to produce Links, 24 additional Links coming in here. He actually runs to the left side. But everywhere, PartinG has such good cannon coverage.
PartinG is everywhere with his observers, with his cannons, just with the structures in general. He has such a good defense, and Life lost so many more resources than his opponent. He has the better mining in general because of his earlier bases that he has, but this is just not easy for him to pull off. He's running against a wall every single time.
Yeah, Templar Archives coming up now, and of course this means that he will be able to get those Archons out for the Archon toilet. The Mothership itself is not just there to look pretty and to cloak units, it's there to get that Vortex off. You need that AoE damage in the Vortex to make it worth your while.
Great Aspire now on its way. Charge. Twilight Council is already done.
All the pieces of the puzzle.
Exactly. It's just both players are just trying to set their chess pieces into a position and go for the checkmate.
And this is a pretty good position for PartinG. He starts to clear up some of this creep. This is really important on a map of this size. He needs to make sure he does not get flanked. Beautiful force fields. Never a wasted force field. Look at those hexes. They're perfect.
Yeah. They are really, really perfect. They have fantastic force fields, a fantastic micro by PartinG throughout the entire series.
Just both players, you know, even with the good forces, he still grabbed those Stalkers and tries to grab them again. PartinG is on top of it, immediately pulling back.
And both of them just working at this bank now, going for 3,000 minerals even for life. I'm a little bit surprised that we don't have an extra base for life. He wants to stay on 4 at this point. Another base would open him up a little bit against aggression, against harassment. But I feel that at some point he has to decide to go into a 5th or just for a massive aggression.
Yeah, I mean, the bank is starting to get really scary for PartinG. He's also adding all these gateways, getting a second robotics, getting armor. He's getting all the tech upgrades, so as soon as he's got those first 5 broods.
The Brood Lords are now just being off 8 of them.
Mothership has been spotted as well. He needs to make sure he has some extra Corruptors out because he just morphed a ton of his Corruptors now into Brood Lords. This game just gets, the economy for both players just gets bigger and bigger.
PartinG takes the 5th base before Life does.
That is pretty telling. He's actually going to throw these sentries away. That's fine. He needs more supply for damage-dealing units.
Even the armor upgrades are now being started. The speed upgrade for the War Prism. There we have the Robo, another on the tap. Both of them gearing up so hard now.
He's getting +1 for air. This
and
is
3 additional Stargates.
3 Stargates, man. Those sentries are going to die here, but I feel like PartinG is moving into, he's actually just a step ahead in almost all aspects of this game.
He built the Stargates against Violet. I feel it was Cloud Kingdom.
Yes, Cloud Kingdom. He never ended up using those.
Exactly.
Stargates.
He never used them. He gets them because he has the bank and he knows at some point might be in a position where I have to be flexible enough to just change my tech entirely. And this is something that is always awesome for Zerg because Zerg can do that so easily. But he just prepares for the game. He already gets those upgrades up. Wolf, this is going to be such a great late game between the 2 of them.
Finally catches those Lings and forces them to unburrow. He's got 4 cannons finishing here, now the 5th one. And Life's Roaches are stuck between cannons and a Stalker place.
He just gets rid of them. He tries to trade, tries to kill something, but he just wants to get rid of the supply.
Yeah, he wants to make more Broodlords, just like we saw earlier. That Graviton Catapult coming out. He's getting his +1 shields finished up now, additional cannons going down. And from here, PartinG can transition into that carrier composition when he's ready, you know, when it's appropriate. This is not a time to start making carriers, not yet. He starts a 2nd core. He did this against Violet as well, but it never ended up coming to that.
It's just like him preparing for everything, and also one of the weapons that you have, we talked about the War Prism and the War Prism speed, and he's using it now. He's going in, he's moving in there, trying to take down as many units as possible, forcing the opponent's army to the top left while attacking one of the bases. His problem is that the Corruptors are already there. They're just waiting for it.
All the Corruptors are on him, but they don't pay attention for just a second. This allows these Zealots in, and now he can run the Zealots to that base and perhaps force a cancel. They've got so much armor.
And he's moving in now into the 3rd, or at least he tries to. He's going up, but he can't do anything just yet. We have in the main base a little bit of harassment going on with those Zealots, but still, the army, the main body of the army, is still trying to find an opening at the 3rd base, and here comes the bundle.
Life says no opening here. He's dropping Broodlords on those Stalkers like it's a rainstorm. PartinG, though, has to come from the other angle. There are a few spines waiting for him with all these shield upgrades he has, though, for those Archons. He should be able to break through, and another attack at the natural.
Yeah, he's trying to capitalize on the immobility of his opponent, and there he moves in right now. The Guardian Shield is up. Here come the defenses against all those Zealots. We have the Infested Terrans now. At the same time, the Recall being used, but 3 of the Immortals are actually still trapped at the top left.
There's trapped there, but will they be able to get the base? I don't think so. We don't have a shot of it, in fact, but...
They didn't kill it.
Yeah, they didn't kill it. I want to see how many hit points it has left, because that could be another target for the Warp Prism a little bit later on, maybe with just even 3 Zealots. And the carrier transition, it's on. He's got +2.
He's going into the carriers right now. We have him with carriers on the production tab. He wants to transition here, and the +2 attack upgrade for the air weapons is already being researched.
Well, Zealot's getting a little bit distracted here, and he needs to turn them around. He does. This Protoss army is very fragmented. I feel like the core of Life could actually shut him down hard since it's all together. The Infestors, the Corruptors, and the Broodlords, they're all together in a trio.
And Life is trying to end it. He's at 600 gas and he doesn't have a 5th base. He's not trying to expand again. He's moving to the bottom, but PartinG is just moving up to the top, trying to attack again. He has the Mothership. He is actually using the Mothership to the top right. He could use a recall later. What is he going to do with it?
Yeah, it looks like he just wants to use it as part of his attacking force, but I feel like we're going to have an elimination race because PartinG cannot go home. Life sends his Investors home, which is really smart, but leaves his Broodlords and his Corruptors to actually start taking out these bases, where there are carriers actually that will spawn and die. This is the worst possible scenario for PartinG's carriers.
This is wasted resources right there. He can't do anything about it.
He should cancel those carriers.
He can't really do anything about it right now. And at the same time, the third base is gone, and PartinG is now moving in. He's moving into the natural. He's trying to take down the tech. It's an elimination race. You said it best earlier.
Yeah, I really feel he should have canceled those carriers, but he wants to buy as much time as possible, so he actually has them out there as meat shields. The Archon's shields are getting really low, but they have +2.
He could always try to recall the carriers to the mothership, but only if there are 4 of them at the same time.
Yeah,
and now
exactly.
It's of course too late with the Stargates
Not
already
worth
gone.
it.
They are dead.
Now he's trying to break them through here, but there's too many spines, there's too many infested Terrans. The Stalkers come for a flank. Will he be able to break through? The Corruptors are nowhere to be seen. Now if they come out,
really scary. All those investors, they have too much energy, and now suddenly the Spine Crawlers can't even attack the Colossi. 3 of them are dead, and look at the main base at the bottom right. The army for life is incredible.
it looks like he may actually do it. He may tie it up. Life looking unstoppable here. The Spine Crawlers remain alive. He's still got the better army. He needs a little bit more economy though. Uh-oh, Investors dying left and right here. Got to be very careful those Investors. The Observer is nearby.
This play by Life is just crazy. But Life has to think about if he needs to hide some buildings at some point.
Yeah, he will. Something to consider though is even with the mothership here, he needs Archons, and there they are. He had enough resources to make those Archons. He needs to keep those Archons with his mothership so that he can eventually kill those Broodlords. There's no other way to fight though.
You know how many Archons that is? This would be such a 6
9.
Archon toilet.
Yeah. If he actually gets those Broodlords into the Archon toilet, they're going to be not long for this world. A little bit of a cancel there. Oh, these probes are not going to be found. The probes escape. Oh, does he see them? It's too late. They're going to get away.
The resources for both of them, the bank is gone. They are at very similar supply account numbers now. Where is the bundle? No, it doesn't even go for it.
He's just going to blink away. He should blink away.
He could, but he doesn't.
More and more bases being eliminated, but the drones have been pulled away.
And with the numbers of harvesters and drones, just in general, that we have 18 to 51, Life has to end it on this army. He can't reproduce anything.
He's going to make 1 Overseer right now. That's actually the 6th Overseer he'll have. He's going to make sure he needs to keep those alive, because if he doesn't have those Overseers, then suddenly the mothership has cloaked units underneath that he can't deal with.
He's taking down those last few bases that we have for PartinG. And PartinG is, of course, now in a little bit of trouble, but the army supply, that's what it's all about.
He needs to pull these Archons back. He cannot afford to lose them. And here come the Corruptors. I don't feel like there's enough anti-air. He just needs to target down that mothership.
Do we have Neural Parasite?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I didn't double check. And right now we can. But I don't think there's Neural Parasite. And with Neural Parasite, he has to dart in with those Corruptors and take down the mothership. He has 16, so he should be able to do it.
He needs a Vortex here. Double Vortex to save the mothership. Well worth it.
The Archon toilets are going in. If I was a Corrupt, I would feel pretty shitty now.
Yes, I would
if
too.
If he's flushing, then this might be the end of the Antia for Life.
And
he gets away.
He gets away with most of the Corruptors.
For a second.
But
still
you know,
11 left.
The Broodlords are still something he has to kill, and now he finds himself on no mining and also no vortexes.
He's starting to be a little bit low in buildings. He's getting the hatch now.
That probe is so valuable, actually. He needs to make sure he keeps that alive.
106 supply for our Zerg player. 98 for PartinG.
He's just going to turtle here because he knows at this moment in time, how can he approach that location with so few units? I mean, yeah, he's got a big army, but the composition is not going to really let him go up there against Investors and Broodlords.
He can't lose those Corruptors. If he cannot take down the Mothership and the Mothership gets a good fungal against the Broodlords, it's over.
Yeah, you're so right. That's why he's got to make sure he knows exactly where it is at all times so he can't get that angle.
And he's taking down Spinecrawler after Spinecrawler. They're hidden everywhere on the map. And this also opens up a weird scenario for Life, because if Life really has to defend like one point on the map, can he really move out with those Broodlords? They are so slow, it's such an immobile army that if PartinG is able to get past him, he will never be able to be back in time to save them.
Yeah. He can't move with the Broodlords, I feel. I feel he has to hold that base. He knows PartinG is not really mining. PartinG has a base up to the top left, but it's not mining at all. He doesn't even have probes trying for that.
It's not even close, a mineral line.
Yeah, look at those probes. They're all just sad and shy. He's going to start working on this extractor, which is pretty smart considering that that's one of the structures that's away from Life's normal army, and he's not going to bleed out. Extractors don't bleed out over time.
Look at that army, 1 Ling, 10 Infestors. That's so many Infestors. But 21.
The mothership, he needs to protect it.
Oh, he goes in. He's trying. He's trying.
Oh, he's got a few energy left, and then he'll have that vortex available.
Both of them are so patient here. This is awesome. It's all about the positioning, and here come the vortex again.
Yeah, but I don't know if he can stick around with the Broodlords here. I think he has to leave. He can't actually fight here.
The Broodlords, they can't fight.
Yeah, the Broodlords can fight, but the Stalkers cannot.
No,
the Stalkers cannot kill those Corruptors.
Yeah, there is no way for them. Not without the energy. And once again, the Corruptors are dodging those Archons. And the Archon count is getting pretty low for PartinG here. They only has 2.
Yeah, he lost those Archons. Now he tries to blink around and he gets bungled. This could be the end of this game. The Stalkers are getting eliminated here.
Oh my god, the anti-air is about to be done. He's moving in. He's trying to kill the hatch.
He's targeting it.
There's still an extractor. He is still an extractor.
Yeah, there's the extractor that's being targeted. There's another extractor there. He will get the hatch.
This is it. This is it, Wolf.
I don't think he has enough.
GG!
What a crazy game that we just saw.
Oh my god, these two.
Whirlwind
is tied.
Whirlwind is a map where you see stuff like this all the time because it's so big, it's so open, it's so easy to hide buildings, but now the score is tied 2 games in a row now go to Life, and PartinG is the first player. This actually is the first time in his series where he has to sit down and think, all right, well, how can I get ahead in this series?
To be fair, it was Whirlwind. That's definitely what we have to point out. It's Whirlwind, it's a tough map, but still, 2-2 in the series right now. I was afraid that PartinG would be able to crush Life here when he took this quick 2-0, but Life just shows us again why he is the best Zerg in the world these days.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the next map is going to be in Tomb Valley. So this is going to be a good map for PartinG, but consider we have 2 more maps after that are good for Life. It's going to be Abyssal City and Belshire Vestige. Here's in Tomb Valley, I was correct. PartinG needs this win.
And Tomb Valley, man, this map.
If he doesn't take this win, the Life is going to have an insane amount of momentum and maps.
Yeah, that's so true. This series is all that we hoped for already. Even if it ends in a 4-2, it will be well worth it. We have Life up against PartinG and Tomb Valley, our 5th map today. The series is tied, guys. This is just brilliant. I love it. A fantastic series.
This is epic indeed. PartinG, he needs to take this win. This is so important for him, I feel, more so than it is for Life. Whoever wins this takes the lead, but Life has good maps lined up behind this. This is in Tomb Valley. People will call it Vortex Valley. I coined the phrase because it normally goes to late game. That's how it used to be. These days, it's usually 3 base attacks that you see, in fact.
Even 2 base timings with a good position, you could even go for an immortal push. We have to find out what PartinG is going to do, what Life is going to do, and in Tomb Valley, the 5th map at the Blizzard Cup 2012. Hold on, Wolf.